Hi everybody, my name is Dylan Walker and I'm a student at Beijing Language and Culture University in Beijing, China. And today I want to just share with everyone what it was like for me to be in China during the coronavirus outbreak there, and then to come back here to Massachusetts and to be under a 2-week quarantine at home, and to really just share the differences and show the differences between our two countries. And these differences have a lot to do with the systems that our countries have. I've currently been in China for about over 4 years. I went there for my undergrad at Beijing Language and Culture University studying Chinese language, and now I'm still there doing my master's degree studying international politics. Once the news started reporting how much and how fast this virus was spreading, especially inside Wuhan, the epicenter, and spreading throughout China, our teachers had notified us in our group chats through our university to stay where we were and don't move, don't go back to Beijing, don't travel anywhere else. And then as time went on, as we've seen, they had the lockdown inside Wuhan and Hubei province, as well as in the rest of the country. We were just told to stay where we were. And for international students, we were told at the time, either stay where you are in China or you can choose to go home. But if you go home, we cannot come back to the Beijing or back to school until we get the notice of when the semester will start. And of course, in the beginning, we didn't know how bad it was going to get outside of China. So now we are still waiting for our notice to go back to school. I made my decision to come back to the US. I told the teacher in charge of us, and she said that if you're going to go back, it's okay, but to make sure you have a mask on the entire time. So from when I flew back from my girlfriend's city to Beijing, then Beijing to Chicago, Chicago to Hartford, Connecticut, then driving back to our home in Massachusetts, I had to keep the mask on the entire time and didn't take it off, only just to take bites in between food and put it back on. But upon arriving in Chicago, we were told to after going through immigration, those who came from China had to go back into line, and they had to, one by one, have people from the CDC come and take our temperature, asking where in China we came from, and they gave us a piece of paper, a list, for 14 days of quarantine at home. Don't go outside, make sure we take our temperature twice a day, write down our symptoms, and that the CDC will call us, as we had to leave a phone number at the airport with them. And coming back this entire time, not once in my 2 weeks, even after, did anyone from the CDC, anybody from the local health department in Massachusetts or the state health department come in contact with me. Not once. But after that, even until now, that it's even better in China, our teachers through our group chats on an app called WeChat, our teachers instruct us, including the Chinese students, that every day we have to, in an app, within the app, we have to put our temperature, our name, student ID, where we are in the world or where we are in China, and if we're in good health or if we're not feeling well. That way the school knows. So I feel that right now we're being taken care of much better by my university, and they're being very responsible towards every one of us international students, regardless if we're inside China or anywhere outside of China. They're still making sure we're safe and in good health, and if anything happens, we just contact them right away. My quarantine life in Longmeadow, it was, in the beginning, I was quite nervous because, as we know, the incubation period can be as long as 2 weeks in most cases. So the whole 2 weeks I was here, I was very nervous my first 2 weeks back, trying to keep some distance between my family and the house, because at that time I hadn't gotten this serious in the US, and my family, they have to go to work, my brother has to go to school, and I was very nervous. And also with having to keep my own temperature, and then the CDC not contacting me or the local health department not coming in contact, it was very nervous and nerve-wracking. It was also quite boring, just, having to be inside the house all day, cannot go outside. Even just to go outside for a walk around the block, I make sure I put my mask on just to be safe. But in that time, of course, when you put a mask on, you get dirty looks and people think you're sick or whatnot. So it was very different than what it was like in China. Whereas when we were quarantining there, just staying at home, we weren't able to go outside and do anything because everything was closed for our safety. But I honestly have to say I felt much safer at that time being in China under quarantine than here during my 2 weeks, and especially now with the severity of the United States epidemic situation. I feel much safer when I was back in China than here right now. Me living in a society that is working towards socialism and is building socialism, especially the most point that stands out to me is right now during this epidemic period is that while I was still there, we could see the whole country uniting together. We all felt that we were made a part of this fight against the virus, that it was called by the president of China, Xi Jinping himself, is a people's war against this virus. We all have to be united, no matter if you're a student, a Communist Party member, a doctor, a nurse, a soldier, or whatever you are, you're man, woman, young, old, no matter your profession or from whatever walk of life you are from, we all felt we were doing our part and doing something to help. And I helped to take part in donating money to help through our university, to donate stuff to the hospitals in Wuhan, and to help in the local area, my girlfriend's city, and just to do my part by staying at home. And by staying at home in my girlfriend's family's house is not going outside and getting myself infected, because if I do, I'm just adding more stress and more pressure to the government and to the doctors fighting on the front lines trying to keep us safe. So we all felt like we're doing something to help by staying at home and doing our part. And we really can tell that how a true socialist society is when during a time like this, that regardless of what you see the economic tolls will be, that the people truly do come together and unite, and they cooperate with the government and they listen. And in China during this time, we can see they're letting the experts do the talking. They're not letting the leaders are not the ones out there saying things. Whatever the leaders say, it's what the experts said we should do, and then we follow what the experts say and what the leaders tell us, because they listen to the experts. I'd just like to conclude this short vlog here by saying I hope that during this time, everyone please stay safe, stay inside, don't give trouble to the hospitals, to the doctors, to the nurses, because this is not just, as we saw in the beginning, a fight for China to fight the virus. It's now a global pandemic. We all need to do our best to stay inside, stay healthy, follow the guidelines of self-quarantine, social distancing and whatnot. Stay healthy, because by staying healthy, you're keeping yourself healthy, you're keeping your family healthy, you're keeping them safe and keeping society safe, keeping the whole country safe, and working together to keep the whole world safe so we can get back to our normal life as fast as possible. And with that, I hope and I join those who are watching to please join our struggle that our Communist Party USA has been fighting for over 100 years now, and working together with people around the world, especially the working people, to do our best to give people in our country, working people, a better life, a new choice to a better life, as well as working with the working people and the progressive people around the world to push our world and to push our society into the right direction of a true, peaceful, happy socialist society. Only through our hard work and through our unity can we accomplish such things. And I hope people can take the time to do more research on what's going on with the virus in China, to avoid slandering towards China, racism towards Chinese people or any Asian people or any people in general, because this virus does not know or recognize nationalities. It does not recognize countries. This virus can get anyone, regardless of your age or your gender or your race or your nationality. So I hope everyone again stays safe, and we'll get through this together. Thank you.